Hello friends, 494 days over. Zelensky, while speaking to several Spanish media outlets, said Kiev has to show results before NATO leaders convene in Vilnius on 11 July, adding that every kilometer costs lives. Well, that is not the only aim of the Ukrainian army and political leaders, but even that of NATO and Pentagon, who literally control the movements of armed forces of Ukraine and attacks against the Russian forces to defeat Russia strategically. Let us see how the things are moving on the ground. In east in Avdiivka, since almost a month now, or say since start of the counteroffensive, Ukraine has been attacking around Vasily and other southern establishments like Vodyane, Spartak, Upitne with small gains, which is extension of grey zones. Within city, despite heavy battle continuing, no appreciable changes have taken place. In north of the city, Russian forces are continuing attacks on Ukrainian position from Krasnogorovka and Krutaya Balka, which is in the east of the city. In Ugledar direction, Ukrainian artillery is continuously pounding Russian positions. In Bakhmut, on southern flank towards Klishchiivka, Ukrainian army claims to have made some territorial gains. In south, Ukrainian army claims to have gained 1.5 km deep and 6 km wide in last 24 hours towards Rabotino direction, which is disputable. While on Orekho-Tokmak sector, the Ukrainians have amassed close to 40 battalion, which is a huge one as far as the counter-offensive is concerned, and probably they are waiting for an opportune moment. On Kherson front, the Ukrainian bridgehead at Antonovsky Bridge is cleared by the Russian army. Ukrainian army launched Storm Shadow missiles at Berdyansk opposite Zaporizhia. The damage assessment has not come yet. In north from Kupiansk to Liman direction, the positional battle, small ground offensive from both the sides, artillery duels is continuing. This is the general situation from the ground, and as far as the war is concerned, the attrition rate is pretty high for both the sides, especially of the Ukrainians, which though claims lie, in last 24 hours it has hit 6 weapons and military equipment concentration points of Russian military, 3 ammunition depot and 14 artillery units. But Russian claim is much more than this, more than 2 to 3 times against Ukrainians. In the meantime, France continues to burn, and most of the media's attention has been diverted from Ukraine-Russian war to the France. However, I must say that France riot / movements is not for the change of the capitalist regime, but it is for small gains. And of course, in such movements, once they become directionless, they become also anarchic. Greta Thunberg, after meeting Zelensky in Kiev, has blamed Russia for ecological disaster, and she turns out to be one of the last known global leaders, if I call her a leader, to reach to Kiev against Russian attack on Ukraine. But now, as far as her stand is concerned against the climate degeneration and climate crisis is highly diluted, because she is almost adopted by the imperialist powers and top monopoly capitalist class. News from Burkina Faso. It has suspended French 24 nuclear channel over wrong reporting related to its terrorist / rebel groups. A very important and a dangerous point is about the nuclear warfare. Now, not only people, and bloggers and on social media, but even those who are part of the regime from both the sides are talking about nuclear warfare. This is not a small matter. This is a huge one. Hope we all wake up in time. Thank you.